So I was creating some other content and God was like, this one first. Now marriage has been categorized as a blessing. The scripture says the one who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. And if you have a wise wife, you're like blessed. And if you have a considerate husband, you are blessed. Now here's the thing, I met somebody a few days back and this man is crazily in love with a woman. But how can he really hurt the one whom he is in love with? I mean, hurting her, not physically, no physical abuse, no physical hurt, but through words, through actions. If she was messaging, he was purposefully not answering the message, or typing certain things in the message just to make sure she's hurt. And he crazily loves her. This is something which we all know. He really loves her. But he was purposefully making moves to hurt her. Maybe because of some disagreements, or see, disagreements happen everywhere. But that does not mean you just hurt the person you love so much. I got to learn so much from there, and God will help me with the bigger picture. He will help me with understanding more stuff about it. A man who's wise, the husband who's wise, he's going to move differently. He's going to move differently with his life affairs, with his marriage, with the blessings that God gave him. A man who is just revolving around his own life, his work, his office, his money, his position, his status, his lifestyle, his workout and other stuff, he's going to use a lot of time, effort, energy, mental energy, emotional energy into all of these things. And you have only 24 hours in a day, and if you're using most of your energy, your time, your effort into all of these things, how will you use your time and your energy and your emotions for your marriage, for your spouse, for your wife? Your marriage also needs time, effort, energy, emotions, mental energy, emotional energy. And if all of these things are being consumed in your own lifestyle, your work, your position, your status, and all those stuff, then how will you use all of these things for your marriage? Not only that, your marriage, your spouse will be starved. So your marriage has its own needs, and to satisfy those needs, you need time, effort, emotions, energy, and all those things. So you actually work for and you work towards maintaining peace in your home, and you work for and work towards maintaining your marriage. These things don't happen by itself. You have to make these things run. You have to make these things happen. So starvation in marriage is going to lead to so many different things that is going to destroy the peace and the happiness in your own home. That is why paying attention to your marriage is a very important thing. Paying attention to your spouse, how they are, what they are, how they like their stuff. Do they like friendship more, or do they like love and romance more? Reading them, all these things, they're very important. And when we read, be considerate to your wife, that basically means you love her heart, you love her mind, and you love her soul. Physical abuse is anyways nowhere allowed, but you actually love her mind, her heart, and her soul. Now, Proverb 31 is teaching us beauty is fleeting and charm is deceptive. So don't go for the looks, don't go for that charm, and always make sure you're with the person who loves your mind, your heart, and your soul, because that is what you are. That person loves you just the way you are, what you are, how you are. Another thing, a man who is wise, he will just know this thing, that his position, his status, his work, his money, his office, his lifestyle, his workout, all those things, these things are moving by itself. These are the blessings that he has earned from God's hands, and they will just happen by themselves. You don't have to give all of yourself, all of your being to all of these things. You have to keep a portion of yourself for your wife too. Since righteousness produces fruit by itself, you need to have that confidence that these things will happen by itself, and I need to pay attention to my marriage. Marriage does not happen by itself. You have to make it move. You have to make it run. You have to make the right effort for it. It is just like when you do the workout, you do the hard work in the gym or at home, and you are consistent with it, and you are receiving a return. You feel emotionally and mentally good, your body is in a good place, and it is also like eating healthy. You make consistent effort into eating healthy. Your body is better now. In the same way, when you work in your office, you are working, you're making efforts, and you're consistent with your workplace or your work life, and your bills are paid, you're paying for your groceries, your food. In the same way, you work for your marriage, you're consistent, you're making efforts, the time, the energy, and everything else, and you receive the peace out of it. There's a lot of peace and a lot of blessing in a marriage also, but people don't see it the right way. So many people categorize marriage as a very painful thing. It is not a painful thing. It's a painful thing when you marry the wrong person, but it's a beautiful blessing if you marry the right person. There are disagreements everywhere, but adding the right ingredients and dealing with it the right way, it can change the picture. Another thing, I missed a point. I just want to make sure I don't miss any point, because my preaching gets recorded up there in the kingdom of heaven, and I'm so much interested in that. A woman actually responds to love. So when you use your time, energy, and effort, into maintaining that relationship, maintaining that marriage, she responds to it. This kind of response is always positive and healthy, which you will receive from her side. Love and romance and all of these things, they're like food for her, not necessarily food kind of food, but it is something for her which she's going to respond to. Those little efforts can bring a lot of difference, because a wise woman just understands and she just knows that yes, my man is making the effort, he's putting in the right energy in the relationship, and now that he's done with this portion of his life, he needs to get back to his own life, because there's other stuff, other things to be dealt with. So she just knows and she just understands. That is why having a wise wife is a beautiful blessing. Whenever you pray to God for marriage, pray to the Lord that He blesses you with a wise wife. And if you have a man who's just rotating and revolving around his own life and who keeps on preaching about money and earning more money, and he's never satisfied with any amount of money that he has with his own self, that is a red flag. Because if he's doing that today, he's going to do the same thing for the rest of his life also. So it's better to walk away from a man like this. I missed one point. I'm so sorry. So when I mentioned that a man should be considerate to his wife and he should love her heart, her mind, and her soul, and that beauty is fleeting and charm is deceptive, that applies to the woman as well. That applies to the wife as well. The wife should also love her husband's mind, heart, and soul. So it is not from only one side, it is from both the sides. Both the partners, they need to make equal effort for their marriage.